Welcome back to another live stream. Hi, how is everyone doing? It is Thursday night here in Malaysia, and we are nearing the celebration of Malaysia Day on the 16th of September. So, for those of you who don't know what Malaysia Day is, it is quite an important day for us. It is the day that Malaysia as a country is born. We're Malaya, Sarawak, Sabah, and Singapore at that time joined together to form the country Malaysia, and of course later on Singapore exited. But anyway, while I'm waiting for... Oh, we've got feedback already. Jerry, thanks. Wow. Jerry and Viper Gamuka, audio and video. Okay, thank you so much. Let me drink some coffee. I'll say hi to everyone. I was just going to ask if the audio and video is okay. But yeah, I guess you guys know the routine already. Thank you so much for the feedback, guys. Let me drink some coffee first. Coffee, always. So to Malaysians watching this live stream, happy Malaysia Day in advance. Let's say hi to some people. As usual, I will prioritize members first. If you are a member, your name will be highlighted in green, and there is a star badge next to your name. All right. Andrew, very nice to see you again, Andrew. Andrew says, hello, Robin, loud and clear. Thanks for joining the stream. Any plans for the long weekend? I guess Monday and Tuesday next week will be holiday. Are you planning any trip out of the city or doing something exciting or cycling somewhere far away? Andrew says, just a quick update. I couldn't attend your YouTube workshop. My application is rejected. Rejected? What? I thought it's like anyone can just attend and just RSVP. What was the reason? What did they say? Oh my goodness, I'm curious, Andrew. What the hell did they say? Well, apparently, at the end of this month, I'm speaking at a community event. It's a YouTube community event. They are not associated with YouTube. They are just content creators getting together to create an event for people to come together to network. And I was invited to speak at that event about YouTube. It's nothing to do with photography. This is completely outside of photography or camera industry. This is purely YouTube, right? And I shared this in my private members only live stream, and the event was also published. It's not a private event. It's published online. If you want to attend, you have to RSVP. So I don't know why it was rejected. I guess I need to wait for Andrew's clarification. Hey Gregory, how are you? Thanks for the update. Audio video A-OK. Nice to see you again, Gregory. Thomas says, YAYQ? What does that mean? YAQ? I don't understand. Oh my goodness. Thanks, Jerry. Nice to see you, Jerry. Thanks, Babagamoka. Good evening to you too. Yes, Thomas, yay. Thanks, Babagamoka. Hey, Jeff, how are you? Thanks for joining the stream. Nice to see you again, Jeff. Corner Store say good morning to you too, Corner Store Bill. Camille says hello from Mississauga, Canada. Hey Camille, how are you? Yumi, very nice to see you again, Yumi. Hi Robin, hope you're well. I'm doing alright. PK say too pricey of a lens, so I guess that's your comment on the newly launched OM System 50-200 F2.8 Pro lens. We'll talk about it in a little bit. Let me say hi to people first. Corner Store Bill says Thank you for getting me into photography. Just got my first camera, the EM1 Mark II. Perfect. That is still my current workhorse for my professional shoots. Still my main camera is still going strong. And not recently, I think it's been more than half a year now, I've also switched my camera to the EM1 Mark II as the main video shooting camera for my YouTube channel. So yeah, there you go. It's my most valuable camera now, EM1 Mark II. Jerry says, hi from Finland. It's nice and warm here, 22 degrees in and out. It is 27 degrees in my room. We're just about 5 degrees apart. Autumn colors have started to appear. Amazing. All right, Andrew says, seriously, it was rejected. I got an email. They want to prioritize to YouTubers with certain amount of followers and videos. I didn't meet the criteria. Wow. Okay. Interesting. At first, when you said you rejected, I thought the slots were already full. Anyways, I'm not exactly associated with these people. I was just invited as a guest. So, well, I'm just sharing my knowledge to the community, right? It's a community of content creators. So I always think this way. If there's a way I can contribute to make someone's lives better, I will do it. But knowing that they would willingly reject a person, I mean, the event is technically open event, right? If they want to keep it by invite only, what do they publish it on Instagram? You saw the poster on Instagram, right? The one I published on my members only live stream. I mean, if you put it up there and your reason is that, oh, you're not a YouTuber with certain amount of subscribers, then I think that's a very bad reason to reject someone. I'm very sorry this happened to you, Andrew. And to be entirely honest, I don't know the organizers very well. I don't know this event. This is the second time they're making this event. And I will tell them that I'm not happy that they are just rejecting people because they don't have a YouTube amount of, with a certain amount of following. I think that's a very poor reason for them to come up with replying to your email. I will voice this up to them, right, when I see them on 25th of September. Anyway, I've agreed to do the event. I've agreed to speak at the event, so I will fulfill my promise. After that, then maybe, yeah, because, well, this is outside of the photography community. Then what am I doing there, honestly? So anyway, I'm so sorry to hear that, Andrew. I'm really, really sorry. Hans says, good morning from the Netherlands. Hey, Hans, how are you? Pia says, Happy Malaysia Day. Happy Malaysia Day to you too. Sang says, hello Robin. Hey, how are you? Nice to see you here. Louis says, I have no need for this lens, but I'm glad that OM System is doubling down on bird photography. Being sarcastic, of course. But I don't think the lens is long enough for bird photography specifically. Like if it's 100 to 400, it's not like they don't have anything longer, right? They have 300. With the teleconverter, it becomes 600, which is definitely long enough for some bird photography. And then they have 100 to 400, they have 150 to 400, and then they have 150 to 600. I think those lenses are more suitable for bird shooting specifically, right? I think 50 to 200 is, you can use it for wildlife and a little bit of birding, but I wouldn't call it a primary birding lens, if you ask me. Yeah. Pete says, hi Robin, great to see you. Hey Pete, great to see you as well. Andrew says, yeah, the RSVP has a questionnaire. It's like an application form to be accepted to the talk. What the hell? Sorry, I really do not know about this. I guess I should have asked more questions when I was in a meeting with them. But anyways, that was another story. I'll just do my part and I will voice my disappointment on this matter to them when I see them. All right, Andrew, that's the best I can do. Camille says, Robin, do you ever do travel photography outside of Malaysia? Wondering if you've been to Japan, Poland, Canada, or Greece. So that's a lot of countries. I have been to Japan multiple times because I work for Olympus Malaysia as an official employee from 2013 to 2017. And I went to Japan at least once a year, sometimes twice or three times a year for meetings, important meetings, as well as for at least one time for training, product training. So I went to Japan to meet with the R&D people, the engineers, and the marketing people from the Japan headquarters, and they fed us the information directly on the new products and the important things that we need to know about the technology, innovation, and how the camera and lenses work. That's the reason why I know a lot about Olympus products back in the day, and that's why I started this YouTube channel in the beginning, so that I can pass on this knowledge to the general audience on how to further optimize the use of your cameras and lenses from Olympus and Micro Four Thirds in general. Because a lot of this knowledge, I think they are not intentionally hidden, and a lot of the knowledge, they are not secrets. Technically, you can find them in the manual or if you spend enough time for cameras and lenses, but they are not readily available. So I made it easier for people to find this information and sort through my camera's tips and tricks so that you can enjoy your camera a little bit more and maybe get some better photographs using your Olympus products. Yeah, so I've been to Japan. I've never been to Poland, Canada, Greece. That's a little bit too far. I have been to Australia. I studied there. I got my engineering degree there. I worked there for a while. I still go to Australia fairly regularly. I've just been there last March, so just a few months ago. I've been to China, I've been to South Africa for work, and there was a trip specifically for Olympus ambassadors, so I joined that trip to South Africa. So I've been there twice. Hong Kong, not that many countries. I mean, Southeast Asian countries, yes, of course, like Thailand, Indonesia, Cambodia, Vietnam. Yes, I mean, within the Southeast Asian countries, like Singapore, of course, I've been, but further away from Asian countries, no. I haven't even been to like places I want to visit, like Nepal, India. I thought these countries would be amazing for photography, right? So yeah. Okay, Andrew says, but no worries about it. I'll still catch up with you in your future talks. I am actually. Oh, we talked about this in a previous live stream. I am giving a talk tomorrow at a private camera event. I shouldn't be talking about this in the open, but there is a private camera event tomorrow, a camera launch event, and I am speaking at the event. I'm so sorry I can't. I don't think I can invite people because I'm not that well connected to that brand yet. So yeah. Gregory says, never say never, little white. Alright, let's read a few more comments and we'll get on with the updates. Santix says, hello Robin, hope you're doing well. Hey Santix, happy Malaysia Day to you. How have you been? Zach says, good morning Robin. Good morning Zach, how are you? PK says, how can I get the Let's Do This hat? Inspiring always. Now this is custom made. This is cheap and the quality of the print is not exactly that great. I don't even wear this outdoor. Like if under the sun and the rain, I'm sure all this will wear off very, very quickly. The reason I got like custom printed hats was caps was because my setup for this live stream is fairly simple. There's nothing. This is my bedroom, right? And I do have plans to move out from this place to a larger place where I can have a permanent setup studio for YouTube. But for now, this is my bedroom, and this is the only place I can do my live stream for you guys. And the only two things that I did to at least make it not look too empty was this light box that displays random Malaysian food of choice for the week, and this cap, right, that has like custom prints on it. Sometimes I wear shutter therapy, sometimes it's micro four thirds, sometimes it's let's do this, right, and at least it adds a little bit of flavor to this channel, or else everything just looks so generic and plain, right? But it's not for sale, and I'm not selling any merchandise yet. I don't know, like if I were to use any of those large sites, merchandising sites to sell, even on YouTube, they have stores, right? It's gonna be crazily overpriced, and I don't want you guys to spend your hard-earned cash on this money. And I'm maybe only earning like 10% out of whatever that they are charging you, which is crazy, right? And if I were to make it myself and sell it at a lower price, but then again, most of you are not in Malaysia, then the shipping costs will add up, and the cost of shipping will be like 5 times more than what the cap costs. So it's like, by the time it reaches you, it's gonna be like ridiculously expensive. I just don't see how selling merchandise can work unless you guys are willing to pay for like a $50 hat and like $120 shirt or something. That's like, I don't know, I would rather sell photo books, right? A book, like publish a proper book and sell it. So yeah. Jared says, in Finland we have plenty of nature and not many big cities, so we are very interested in nature photography. So this new lens interests me. I can't afford to buy one yet. I don't necessarily see it as a wildlife lens. I don't know, like, is it long enough really? It's just I don't know. Anyway, you guys tell me. I don't do wildlife, so you guys tell me. Zach says, if you're not a YouTuber, you're not a real person. That's science. Oh, that's cruel, Zach. I would think that most YouTubers, even myself included, would try our best to portray the best image possible. Like we are presenting, we are projecting an image, right? Like whether this what you're seeing is real or not, that's a persona. It's very hard to say, right? It's much like acting on television or movie, right? And sometimes when we meet the person, that person is completely different from what he or she presented on YouTube versus what that person is in real life is like a completely different person. The characteristics, the behavior, the attitude, and even their beliefs. All right, they put on a show, they put on a mask so that they can get like certain group of people to connect to that group of community to be accepted, right? And that's what we want. We want to be accepted. We want to be connected. But I find that very dangerous. So that's what I try to do from day one. I'm not even sure if I'm successful. I try to be as authentic as I can. I try to be as honest as I can. Like if I can't do something, I'll tell you I can't do something. Like the very first thing I did was I never pretended that I know anything about video. You can see a lot of YouTubers, they try to think that, they try to project the image that they are experts in certain things, like whether about camera or street photography or portrait photography or about, you know, certain things. And then when they really speak about the technical things, they fall short. You know that they're not experts, but they really try to fake it till they make it. And that's very troubling. Like if I don't know something about a camera, or if I'm not very good about certain things, I will tell you rather than lie to you or pretend that I'm good at something. At least I try to, right? To me, I think transparency is very important. At the end of the day, when I put myself out there, so much of myself, my voice and my face, my credibility, my integrity, everything is on the line. Right? And I don't want people to say, oh, Robin is lying about certain facts, or hey, he told me that this lens is good in this YouTube video. I bought this lens and oh my goodness, it's such a crap lens. Like whatever he says doesn't match my real world experience. I don't want to be that kind of person, right? So I don't want to disappoint anyone. So I try my best to be as honest as I can. So yeah. Okay, let's read a few more chat from the members. Gregory says, expensive premium products can be used to generate cash for other activities. What kind of activities? He replied to Santos. All right, let's get to Santex. Since I just got the 75-300, quite a nice lens. Being like small yet very far reach. It's amazing, right? Like, it's genuinely really small and light, and yet, like when you zoom all the way, like, oh my goodness, it's like fantastic, right? And that's the lens. I think 75-300 is like the minimum lens I will use for birding. Even so, if you try to get some birds, Santex, I don't think it's enough. It's barely enough, right? So yeah, but at least it's a good entry point, right? 200 is just too short for any birds. Like, I know it can take in teleconverters for the 50-200 lens, but without the teleconverter, that lens is just not long enough, right? So anyway, what do I know? I'm not a bird photographer. Tony says, hello from Sydney in Australia. No, I won't be getting this lens. Aw, that's too bad. Any reasons though? Please share if you can. Sunny says, any photography or camera events coming up this month or next month? A lot of events though, Santix, but a lot of these events are private events. And I do get invited to some of these events. I am attending some of the events. Tomorrow there's one event. I can't say anything because there's a reason why it's a private event. There's another one at the end of the month. I can't go to that one because I have a job that clashes with the timing of the product launch. So yeah, and if you haven't noticed, a lot of new products have been launched. There's the OM Systems lens, there is the Nikon ZR, there's a Canon camera. I'm sure Sony's going to come out with a new camera very, very, very soon. Ricoh has the GR4, and there's so many other products that's being launched. And all these camera manufacturers are putting up events, and most of these events are private by invite only. I think they start by the official launch, where they invite specific media and dealers and some photographers to come in and have a look, the first look. And after that, hopefully they still have enough budget to do a public event where they invite anyone. Like it's free, just RSVP. Hopefully you won't be like Andrew, right? You get rejected in the application where, oh, you need to have certain followers, Instagram or YouTube to attend the event. My goodness, that will be so, oh my, I don't even have words to describe this. It's really horrible, right? So anyway, hopefully it doesn't come to that. Hopefully they have enough budget to create such events. Antrik says, hey Robin and all. Hey Antrik, how are you? Very nice to see you. Amir! Amir is the guy that I think of all my friends that I have, I spend the most time shooting on the streets with Amir. So whatever secrets that you want to know about me, or whatever dirty things, or whatever you want to know, you can ask Amir. He's here. Like, did I really use Micro Four Thirds to shoot on the streets, or have I switched to full frame, or whatever dirty secret you can ask Amir. He'll answer you honestly. And a lot of my portraits are taken by Amir as well, so thank you so much, Amir. Because one of the problems of being a photographer is that you're always behind the camera, and you need another photographer to take photographs of you, right? And I realized recently that I don't have a lot of portraits of myself with the camera outside. So Amir is one of the friends that is always very generous to volunteer to take photographs of me. And yeah, I should buy him more coffee the next time I see him. Sonic says, I woke up at 2 to take photos of the eclipse with the 75-300 lens, the red moon, right? But sadly, it's just too cloudy. Yeah, it's pathetic. It's completely cloudy here. I'm like, oh my goodness, I give up. I look at the sky, sun takes. I went back to sleep. I just completely give up. So, all right, we'll take a pause here. Don't worry, I'll get to every single chat. And let me drink some coffee, and we'll start with some updates on what's happening. Yeah. So on last Monday, as usual, I published a new video, and this time it's about the EM10 and why I think OM Digital Solutions should bring a refresh or update to the EM10 series. And my reasons are very simple. The camera is hot selling in Japan, not OM1, not OM5, but EM10. People in the comment sections ask, Robin, what you're describing is basically OM5. Wrong. OM5 never made it to the top 50. It is always EM10, EP7, EPL7, or EPL series, or EM10 series. OM5, EM5, they were not in the top 50 recently. There's a reason why. And I think that the missing gap for Micro Four Thirds, not just for OM system, also for Panasonic, is the entry-level, affordable, budget-friendly camera that's priced well below $1,000 US. And I think that the EM10 or OM10 can fill that gap, and it can entice more people to join Micro Four Thirds, which will increase the market share from a mere 3.something% to at least, I hope, 10% or more Panasonic and OM system combined, so that we can secure a future for Micro Four Thirds. It can also allow people to experience the benefits of Micro Four Thirds using the small lenses, encouraging more lens sales. Like, come on, you come up with so many lenses, right? So many new and expensive lenses. If you don't have camera bodies, who's gonna use those lenses? You come with lens, you don't have bodies. Nobody has enough Micro Four Thirds bodies to encourage the sales of these new lenses, right? It's like a chicken and egg situation. So instead of making so many new lenses, maybe we should focus on camera bodies that's affordable and capable and enticing enough to get people, to attract more people to buy into the Micro Four Thirds system. I think that's a good strategy. That's why I made a video, I shared my thoughts. A lot of people in the comments agreed with me, and who knows, maybe we'll get an OM10 sooner or later. I don't know. But if we have an OM10, I will buy one. If it's all the improvements with the face detection autofocus, with microphone jack, all the good stuff, I will actually buy one. So yeah, there we go. That's it. And then I think the latest news for this week, there's a lot of things happening. Hey, Nikon launched the Nikon ZR, and then Canon launched the C50 camera. I'm not really following all these updates. And then of course, OM Digital Solutions launched the 50-200 F2.8 Pro. The distributor of OM system products in Malaysia, which is technically YL Camera, they contacted me. And they informed me about this new launch. And they also told me that they don't have the sample unit yet, or a test unit available. But once they have something, which I don't think will be a sample unit anymore, whatever they get now in the future will technically be an actual production unit. So once they have a production unit, which they will sacrifice to be a loaner unit for reviewers, for local content creators, photographers to test and make content, even their own ambassadors. We have some OM system ambassadors in Malaysia. They need to test those lenses, right? Once they sacrifice some of this, they open the box of the actual production units of the 50-200 lens. I was promised a lens to be used so that I can use to create content. So I can't promise a full review, because these days I am not very keen on doing any reviews anymore. But what I can do is use the lens to shoot some photographs and share my experience and thoughts about the lens. That's the best I can do. As a micro foto shooter, right? I think my opinion still counts. There's still some value and weight behind them. That's the best I can promise. If I have time, let's say that suddenly I'm free for 2 weeks and I have 2 weeks with that lens and I have time to move around and really test the lens thoroughly, then I will do a full review. That's the best I can say. But if I were to just bring the lens out for several days, like 3 or 4 days maximum, and spend a day making a video out of it, then it will not be called a full review, right? So I hope you guys understand that. But I'll do my best when the lens comes. I'll do my best. It's much like what happened with the OM5, right? I only have 3 days with it at Fraser's Hill. I don't want to call that a review. That's just not right. So, but I did have time to shoot a lot with the camera. I had spent a lot of time with the OM5. So, and I am a micro photo shooter and I've been using Olympus OM system since forever. So I do understand the product and what it is. So I'm qualified to say something about the OM5, but I did not call that a review. So I have to be very, very, very clear here. Again, back to what I said earlier, I don't want to pretend like I'm an expert or I don't want to overstretch my credibility. I have to remain truthful and I need to state down the limitations or the restrictions or what I can and cannot do. Having said that, I don't think there are any more updates. I don't remember there being any new events in terms of photography or camera trade shows or anything, but there are many private events, camera and lens launches that I'm aware of. Some of them I'm invited to, some of them I'm not. Some of them I can attend. After the event, I will probably report in the following week's live stream. You may see some updates on my Facebook page or my blog. Yes, my blog is still alive. Some of them I cannot attend, so I will not say anything. But yeah, that's the best I can say at this moment. But next Monday will be fun. So for members only, Sunday night, you'll see a new video. That video will be fun. I spent a lot of effort making that video. That is one video that I'm very excited to share with you guys. So keep an eye out. Yes, it is a new product. Yes, it is like a mini review. It's not a full review. It's like a mini review. I spent so much effort and time getting sample photographs for that one particular product. So check that out, right? Okay, I think before we dive into the topic, let me remind everyone that I have enabled membership on this channel. With just the price of a cup of coffee, you can support me. You get some really cool perks in return. You have early access to my new videos. You get to see my new videos 24 hours before everyone else. We also have members only live stream. The recent one was last Friday, and we'll have at least one members only live stream every month where this is a private live stream where we can engage. We can have a more intimate and direct conversation rather than I go through every single non-members chat. And then I will reply to your comments, whether it's in my new or old videos, first before I reply to anyone else. I can prioritize my responses to you first. Even on this live stream, I prioritize my responses to your chat first before everyone else. I have also taken down some older videos that are not performing well. My videos are public. I made them available for everyone. But if some videos, if I've put a video out for 3 months, 6 months, and still nobody wants to see them, then I take them down. Fair, right? I make it free for everyone to see. If you guys don't want to see it, I take it down. So some of these videos include tips and tricks on making black and white images, tips and tricks on composition and framing, also like how to get sharp images doing macro, as well as a lot of POV street photography, and some reviews as well. Some lens reviews that were not doing well, I've taken them down. So if you want to check out these videos, you can have full access by joining as a member. There are other ways to support me outside of the membership. You can buy me a cup of coffee using this link, or you can contribute directly to my PayPal, or you can buy from my affiliate links, whether it's from Amazon or B&H. I take about 2% of the sales number. You don't have to spend extra money if you use the affiliate links. And yeah, any support goes a long way. Any small contribution will definitely help me, encourage me to go out and shoot more and share as much as I can with you guys. For those of you who have contributed, who have supported me, I thank you so much. I really, really thank you for being here, for your support. I really, really appreciate it. All right. Okay. Before we start about the topic, I want to reply to a few more chats, but let me drink some coffee. Coffee. Okay. Let's get to the chat first before I get overwhelmed. Let's see. Members only first. Tomato says, good evening, Robin, and hope everyone is doing well. Hey, Tomato, very nice to see you again. Gary says, parties for executives or designing new products? Okay. You can burp with 25, just have to be really quiet. Are you sure you still exist, Gregory? You're not a ghost? Andrew says, I love the 50-200 and that's out of my budget. Yeah. I guess like there are several questions, right? One, if budget is not a concern, is it a good lens? Because sometimes price is an issue. We understand that it has to be at a certain price to justify the quality and the production costs and a lot of other things that went into making that lens, right? But if price is not a problem, is that the lens that you want, or will it make a big difference in your photography? That's a very important question as well. Hey Chris, how are you? Chris says, hi Robin and all, wet and windy here, but I have pre-ordered the 50-200. Wow, that's amazing. Did I give you an estimate on when the lens will be delivered to you? When are you getting the lens? I'm curious, is it like 2 weeks or a month or 2 months? Hopefully it's not more than 1 month, right? Like sometimes they launch a product, they take pre-orders, it'll take them like forever to fulfill the pre-order. Is like, what's the deal, man? I'm paying my hard-earned money, I want it now, right? Gary says, your videos are very experiential, something lacking from many reviews. Thank you so much, Gregory. And I think it's important to share what I experience, right? Like, after all, photography is all about us. It's the process that we enjoy. It's not just the final image. It's like, how do you feel when you hold the lens or the camera? And is there any problem or any discomfort or any issues that you encounter while you use the product, right? That's very, very important. Yeah. AJ says, hi Robin everyone, hope all are well. Hey AJ, how are you? Nice to see you here again. Okay. Gary says, coffee. So good, I'm thinking about having some more. Yes, more coffee, always. Chris gave an update. No estimate, but OM Solution says maybe mid-October. That's fair. So it's already mid-September now. If it's mid-October, that's like a month from now. That's perfectly fair. 1 month after pre-order. If it's too soon, let's say you pre-order now and just get it in 1 week, like, why bother? Right? Might as well just wait 1 week and sell the lens, right? Why bother taking pre-order? So if it's a month from now, it makes sense. Okay, let's get to the non-members chat. Fajar says, I wish telelens for Micro Four Thirds 50-150 F2 like Sony telelens had. We used to have 35-100 F2 back in the day for 4/3 DSLR. I don't know why they don't do that. And the fact that Sony, Canon, they can come up with F2 zoom lenses, it also means that it's possible for Micro Four Thirds. And I think they can do it, just that they are not doing it. I don't know why. Josh says, I think that YouTubers should take more responsibility for ads presented on their channel. I understand the need for funding, but ads glorifying violence against women and incest are unacceptable. George, we have no control on what ads is being shown to you. The responsibility cannot be placed on the content creator, right? Like, we really cannot choose what you see. And what you see, George, wherever you are in the world, let's say that you are in Indonesia, what you're seeing is different from Andrew, who is in Malaysia, is different from another person in the UK is different from another person in Australia. And even if you are in Australia, 5 people watching this live stream now, these 5 people may be shown different ads because they are not of the same age, different demographics, they are not an exact same location. The people bidding for the ads are different companies selling different products. The matching tool, the ads that is being shown to you, they're all totally different. And we have completely zero control. If you have a problem with certain ads, George, please feedback it to YouTube. It's the advertiser's problem. I can only turn it on or off. That's it. There are no other controls. You don't have to take my word for it. You can start your own YouTube channel and look at the controls or the settings that you have. It is basically on or off. And I decided to turn it on like every other YouTubers out there. And I've been on this live stream for, 40 minutes now? And I'm not receiving a cent of super chat or buy me coffee or PayPal contribution. And you said it. Do you need for funding? Yes, I need funding, but I'm not receiving any. So the only way I'm getting funding is through the ads, right? So like, come on, like seriously. I don't even have to defend myself. Anyway, let's move on. Kelvin says, hi from Sebago Lake, Maine. Hey Kelvin, how are you? Nice to see you here. Surfing says, cool lens, but like everything else from OM system lately is overpriced. I don't need one, but I hope it's a success nonetheless. It's nice that they release a new lens. All right, since we are already diving into the topic, let me just share my initial thoughts. Obviously, I don't have the lens, right? Then we'll get everyone to share the thoughts. Okay, so OM System launched a new lens. Hooray! And yeah, and surprisingly, it's a Wednesday because every time OM System, if you look at the history, right, it's always a Tuesday, whether it's OM System or even back in the day in Olympus, it's always Tuesday at 2 o'clock Malaysian time. It is still 2 o'clock Malaysian time. They kept the timing, but this time instead of being a Tuesday, it's a Wednesday. So it doesn't really matter. It's just one day later. I guess there's a reason why they don't launch it on Monday, because Monday is the start of the week where everyone is still busy replying emails and getting things in order. So Tuesday and Wednesday is a good time to launch a new product midweek, right? And yeah, we finally have a new lens, and this is not a secret. And technically, the lens has been on the lens roadmap even before Olympus shut down their business, right? And being carved out and sold to Japan industrial partners, and this is before OM Digital Solutions existed. And this lens was already on the roadmap, but the weird thing was there were 2 tele lenses on the roadmap, but now it's being cut down to 1. So this was the only one left on the roadmap. So they took one lens out, one telephoto zoom lens out from the roadmap. So maybe it's a budget one, it's not a pro lens, but that was taken out. So we have this one, which was promised since before the existence of OM Digital Solutions, and now it's being finally fulfilled. So is it really an OM Digital Solutions lens design? We don't know, because this lens was already in the plan, in the R&D's roadmap since before OM Digital Solutions existed, since Olympus time. It was EM1 Mark III era. We already have this lens in the roadmap. We're talking about 5 to 6 years ago, even 7 years ago, this lens was already there. We know that this lens is coming. Or maybe they already have the rough blueprint on the optics design. Maybe they already have the full optical design. They just haven't implemented it in manufacturing's point of view, in production. I don't know. So was this an Olympus lens? Or was this a true, fully 100% redesigned OM Digital Solutions lens? Or there's a third alternative, which is scarier and a lot of people will not be happy to hear. Or is this a Sigma lens? Because a lot of the newer lenses, it seems like it was patented by Sigma, right? Like the 100-400 is technically a Sigma lens because people compare the lens designs. There are other lenses that's made available for other brands, exactly the same design, but they just rebatch it and put on a Micro Four Thirds mount and sell it as an OM system lens. 100-400, and then there's 150-600, where a lot of people claim that it is technically a Sigma lens. It's not an OM system lens. So is this an OM system, 100% OM system lens, or is it possibly an old Olympus lens, or is it a new, completely new Sigma lens? We don't know. We don't know these things. I'm just throwing the possibilities around. Olympus did have the highly successful 50-200 F2.8 to 3.5 lens. They had two versions. One is non-SWD, which is the first version, and the second version was the SWD version. SWD stands for supersonic wave drive. I got my memory is still working, so it enables the motor is a lot faster to drive the elements of the lens. So it was very, very quick if you use it on fast cameras like the E1, not E1, E3 or E5 back then, the DSLR. And yes, we already had the 50-200, but how similar are these lenses? I did not compare in terms of lens construction, optical formula. Are they similar, or it's just maybe 50-200? The old one, they redesign and optimize it a little bit more and make it a 50-200 f2.8. Is it possible? I don't know. So, but either way, what I want to believe is that this is 100% OM digital solutions lens. I really hope that this is not a Sigma lens rebatched to OM system. I really hope that this is not an old Olympus lens, although that's not a big problem if it is. I want to believe that OM digital solutions spent a chunk of their money, which they don't have a lot, into the R&D in developing and making this new OM system 50-200 lens. So that's one. I just want to get it out of the way. The lens is retailing at $3,699 US. That's quite painful. Even the original 40-150 was not really cheap, although I feel that 40-150 f2.8 Pro, the price is justified because that lens is metal, very construction grade, was amazing. It's weather sealed, constant f2.8, can take teleconverters, image quality is excellent. Like, there's basically no complaint about the 40-150 f2.8 Pro. It is an excellent telephoto zoom lens, especially for Micro Four Thirds, and the size is not huge. It's fairly light. It's very small, very easy to handle. It only looks big if you attach the hood and if you leave the tripod collar on. If you remove the tripod collar, the lens is basically very, very small. And for handheld photography, the 40-150 is excellent. I've used the lens many, many times over the years. I used to own one, but I sold it off because I don't need it. But it was an amazing lens. I got a lot of fantastic results with the 40-150. So coming from that, if this 50-200 is a step up from the 40-150 in terms of construction quality, weather sealing, optical formula, image sharpness, overall quality, if it's really a huge improvement from the 40-150, I need to know how huge, right? Is it so much better? Like, is it 10% better, 20% better? If it's just like 5% better than 40-150 and they charge $3,699, I think that's ridiculous, right? Like, are there any comparisons made already? Maybe there are. I haven't been watching any videos, any reviews out there, any content, because I've been quite busy the past few days. I'm not going to lie. Because of the private camera event tomorrow that I'm speaking at, I've been busy preparing, shooting sample photographs, even making the video, which I'll publish next Monday. So I haven't had the time to really sit down and go through all the other videos from Micro Four Nerds, Emily, from Jimmy Chang, Red 35, even from Petapixel. I haven't been watching any content. Like, has anyone made direct comparison between this lens and the existing 40-150? Is it like really that much better? Is it like, I mean, I'm not asking it to be like 50% better. If it's like 20% better, you can really see that it's that much better, and you charge it at $3,699. I think it's worth it, right? But if it's like comparable, it's just a little bit better than 40-150, then I think, yeah, that is not justified. We have a super chat. Let me just get back to here first. Thank you so much, George. So sorry about that. I didn't mean to go out of control in my comment about ads, but seriously, I have no control on my ads, and I really thank you for your continued support. I know you mean well when you talk about the ads that you don't want to see happen, but the only thing I can suggest is that you complain directly to YouTube, because they are the only ones who can control what's being shown to you. I have zero control. I can only turn it on and off. That's all I can do. I'm really sorry about that. Right? Okay, let's get back to the chat. Not to the chat, but to the what you call that, the 50-200 lens. Now, again, I don't know how good the lens is because I don't have the lens yet. I'm promised a loaner unit. I don't know when I'll be getting it. My guess is in a month when it's available for everyone in the world. Just as the pre-orders are being fulfilled, the first batch is being shipped out. The production unit, then I'll be getting the first batch as a sample unit to test. It's not a bad thing that I'm getting an actual production unit because review samples are usually superior, or they are, of course, they have to make sure that the review units are not faulty or doesn't have any issues, right? So if my unit is an actual production unit, it is more representative of what you'll be getting if you actually buy the lens as well. We have another super chat. Let me just say thanks to that person first. Thank you so much, Connor Storbiel, for getting the journey started. Thank you so much. Thanks for the support, guys. Really appreciate the love that you guys are showing. All right, I do need to get back to the lens. Nothing much I can share at this point because I don't have the lens. I can't tell you how the autofocus is, or how sharp the lens is, or how it handles on the OM1. Is it too front heavy, or do you need a tripod? Or is it really a wow lens? Like, you guys tell me, because I haven't been reading or watching any of the reviews out there. Are the reviews overwhelmingly positive? I saw a summary saying like this, like the best wildlife lens ever. Like, what do you guys think? I think at this point, I shouldn't be making assumptions. Again, I don't want to pretend like I know everything. Obviously, I don't have the lens, so there's not much I can say about it. But what I'm interested to know is, will you buy the lens? I think Chris has pre-ordered the lens so far. We have one person buying the lens. What pushed you to getting the lens? What's your reason to justify the purchase? And based on the available reviews and information that is already pushed out there, I think it's been only, 24 hours since the lens was launched, or maybe one day. We have at least a dozen reviews, articles, content available already on the 50-200 based on what you have consumed and watched so far. What are your thoughts? What is your conclusion? What can you share with me? I would like to know from you, right? So yeah, so I'm redirecting all these questions to you guys, and let's have a conversation. Let me drink more coffee and I'll get back to the chat. There's one more photograph here. I stole these photographs from B&H site. Well, technically they are not B&H photograph. They are those, like, you know, the photographs, the sample photographs shared by OM System directly. And fun fact, if you guys don't know this, look at these cameras and lenses, right? These products, for the longest time, since more than 10, 15 years ago, all these are not actual photographs. If you guys don't realize that, these are computer-generated graphic images. Well, in modern sense, it's AI, but I don't think this is AI. It's still human. Like, there's a human behind the graphics design software to generate these images. So these are not actual images. These are artificially generated images or graphics. If you guys can't tell already, like, actually most of the product images these days are artificially generated. Like smartphone images or any product images, they are generated by computer, right? Just to throw it out there, if you guys don't know, or you thought like, wow, this is like professionally taken or what? No, these are not actual photographs. These are computer generated images. So anyway, let's get to the chat. Let's go to members first. Members. Where were we? Okay. Let's see. Wow. Gregory says, Emily compared the 50-200 to 40-150 and preferred the newer lens. All through her video, I kept thinking about how much smaller the 40-150 is. Why did she prefer the new lens? Like if it's better, like how much better? You get what I mean? Is it like just a little bit better, or is it really, really like you put two images side by side, you can immediately tell this is the new lens? You get what I mean? It's like, for example, 45 1.8 and 45 1.2. If I put two images side by side, you will know which image was taken with the 45 1.2 and 45 1.8, because not only is the bokeh better, you have shallower depth of field, the bokeh looks nicer and it's creamier, but it's also sharper, like it's significantly sharper. The images just pop, right? Same story with 25 1.2 versus 25 1.8. Like if you compare the images side by side, you will know, you can see the huge difference, right? Then it's justified that, okay, I know that the lens costs maybe 3 times more, 25 1.2 versus 25 1.8, 45 1.2 versus 45 1.8. The lens is a lot more, but you can't see the visible difference. It is that obvious. You get what I mean? You cannot deny it. It's just right in your face. It's so obvious, right? So if I took images from the 40 to 150 compared to the 50 to 200, if I put it side by side, can you really see it? Like immediately can tell this is 50 to 200. If yes, then yes, you can. It's justified. 3699. Gregory says, I like small. It is what drew me to Olympus in the first place in 1978. That's the reason why I still use the 45 1.8. And I never had the 45 1.2. Although it is that much better. I've already admitted that in terms of bokeh, in terms of sharpness, overall image quality, 45 1.2 is better. But I still use 45 1.8. There's a reason, because it's so tiny, right? And for that tiny size, it is already more than good enough. It gives me more than what I could hope for in the lens. Yeah. Gary says, good point, image stabilization. I forgot about image stabilization. My latest set of pictures from Chicago reminds me that I need to think about image stabilization, not getting any younger. All right. G-Time 3 that says, we are totally willing to pay $50 for a hat. Nah, I just think that it's just way overpriced. And this is like, this quality is really bad. Like the quality of this hat is like, it's not worth 50. Like I would feel so guilty if you pay $50 for this. Like, man. Tomato says, I saw the price and I cried. I didn't cry, I just thought like, what justifies the price, right? And I can't tell because I don't have the lens, so I'm curious, like, is it justified? If it's really that good, of course, pay for it, right? Yeah, I saw the price. AJ says, the YouTube reviews show how good the new lens is, but $5199 is too much for me as I just got the 150 to 600 to pair with the 40 to 150 f2.8. The dual image stabilization would be nice, but I have no problems with the 40 to 150. Yes, I have also made a video about the image stabilization test on the 40 to 150, and this is using EM1 Mark II, by the way, not the latest cameras with even better image stabilization capabilities. Zooming all the way to 150, all the way, I can hand hold down to about 1/20th of a second. 1/30th is easy. 1/20th, 1/15th. If that's true, 150, which is 300 equivalent, I can hand hold 1/20th of a second. Like, what else do you need? Are you gonna shoot 1 second with that 150mm lens? No, right? You're probably going to need 1/60th, 1/100th, even if you're shooting birds, which is perfectly still. 1/30th, 1/40th. You wouldn't shoot at 1/10th, like any micro movement of the bird, like the branch shake a little bit, it's going to be blur, right? You still need about 1/30th, 1/40th. You're not going to go like 1/5 of a second. Like, you don't need those crazy image stabilization. So like for 40 to 150, I don't think you need image stabilization for that lens. Yeah. Gregory says, YouTube Premium is a good investment, saves me sanity. All right. Yeah, that's Australian dollars. AJ is referring to, Tomato says, 40-150 is on sale right now for Australian 1899. It's such a great deal considering Nikon's 120 to 300 was 15,000. I know, right? Yeah. 40-150 is a great lens. I have no complaint about that lens. It's a really good lens. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Wow, I'm really behind the chat already. Yes. Mika says 50 to 200 will be a really good A-show lens. I usually use the 1.4 times teleconverter on the 40-150 Pro. It would be nice to have the extra stop of light out of the 200. Yes, I guess that's why reach is one thing, right? Like, if it's not that much better, I might just attach a teleconverter, right? Yeah. Chris says, my use case is niche, zoo photographs. 300 is sometimes too long. 40-150 is often too short. I need something. 200 to 250 has the F2.8 to defocus fences. Image quality has to be good as 300. They say 50 to 200 is. Right. Yeah, the 300 is f4, right? It's different. Whereas the 40-150 is f2.8. So if the 200 is f2.8, yeah, maybe it will be a great lens. Yeah. Gary says, I feel pain that a photography equipment company uses artificially generated images of their products. It has been like that, and every single company does that, except for the lifestyle shots. Except for like, if you look at, like this is real. This is a real photograph, of course. This cannot be computer generated, right? But this, come on, this is not real. This is so obvious it's fake, right? Yeah, it's not just Olympus or OM System. Panasonic does it. Sony, Nikon, Canon, everyone does it. Pentax, Fuji, everyone does it. And it's very, very, very obvious. Yeah. Okay, let's get to the non-members chat. I'm a little bit behind, but I'll do my best to catch up. Sunday says, I think the new 50 to 200 lens is for OM system to sustain income with existing OM system users to somewhat replace the 40 to 150 lens. But then again, people who already have the 40 to 150 lens may not buy the 50 to 200. I don't think it's a great idea. And like I said, it has to be that much better. And even if it is, like if 40 to 150 is already so good, why upgrade? Like my 45 1.8 is already such a great lens. I know the 45 1.2 is so much better. I know that. But I'm not going to upgrade. You get what I mean? Yeah. Simon says, hey Robin, I see you are not live streaming with the 52. I'll be like outside the window, right? Across the road, right? Sunny says, perhaps next year they will come up with something more entry level. Hopefully, or mid level. Yeah, they can't just release everything like $3,699 $2,000. Like they need something like something that most people can afford, right? Connor Stobio says, I'm a heavy equipment operator and I want to keep the camera in the cab of the machine with me. Do you think bouncing around is going to affect the camera at all? Nah, not an issue. And if it concerns you, then maybe put a camera in like a pallet bag. That should be fine. Shouldn't be an issue. Yeah. Oh, thank you so much, Connor Stobio. I appreciate that. Sunny says, at the YL camera fair, I chatted with the Lumix. I only saw Seal, the product guy. Fun fact, Seal, I don't know who you chatted with. Seal used to work for Olympus for like a few months. Anyway, hinted early next year there will be an entry mid-level micro four thirds camera for consumer market. Seems to be focusing on vlogging. They have to, since Panasonic has always focused on video, and it surprises me that they have to wait this long. They should have launched something like now or earlier, right? We'll wait until next year. It's too late. You're losing even more market share until then. But then it's so hard to recover already, right? Pentagram says, I need to say something. Robin is literally my best photographer. And so sweetheart person, matching my attitude to life, always smiling, very transparent, respecting others. Greetings from Poland. You are too kind, Pentagram. You are. I'll drink to that. Cheers. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Sonic says, maybe I get a hint that it will be something between GF and G series. Hopefully it is. But if it's designed for vlogging like the Nikon ZR, it may not be something that I would be interested in. I understand vlogging is a huge thing. A lot of people want to dive deeper into the cinematic world. They want like fast beat rate, shoot open gate, shoot 8K, 6K, you know, do all the slow-mo, like 120 frames per second, record raw footage, all the LUTs and whatever, and float audio 32-bit, whatever. I don't care about any of those, right? I just want the video to be good enough with image stabilization, with better video quality, right? General quality. I don't need like open gate or 120 frames, but yeah, I think that's what the consumer is pushing. But if it's like optimized for vlogging, yeah, that probably will not be a thing that I'll be diving into. Car says, "Good morning, Robin. Hope you are well. I'm doing all right. Curious to hear about your thoughts on the 50-200. I've already shared them, so now it's my turn to hear from you guys." Yeah. Camille says, "If the new 50-200 looks as if it's an in-house design, is there anything stopping our system from making newer lenses like f2 zooms from 12 to 60? Nothing. And I wish they do make these lenses sooner, right? Because that will be interesting. Yeah." Static says, 50-200, the price is rather high. Maybe as of now, launching price, it will drop in price after some time. But the prices will only go up. I don't see OM system lenses prices going down, especially the newer ones. If you have, let's say, a second version, like a Mark II version, then maybe the Mark I version will go down. But I don't see lenses like 714 or, 300 f4 or even 100 to 400 going down, unless like 100 to 400 Mark II, the 100 to 400 Mark I will go down a little bit. Yeah, even the macro 60 f2.8 is still relatively high. Al in Philly says, "I normally shoot with fast short primes. That said, there are occasions where a medium long length zoom would have been really useful. This lens checks all of my boxes, though its price is hefty." That's awesome. Will you buy one? That's the question. Sunny says, "Perhaps there will be a more 40-150 in the used market." But the thing is, this is the question. If you have the 40-150, will you sell it to upgrade to 50-200? Because they are both different lenses. And if you've compared them side by side, you've noticed that 40-150 is still a lot smaller than 50-200. Like, if you are a wedding photographer or an event photographer, I'm not talking about wildlife photographer, right? That's a different breed. I'm just asking myself as a photographer and the friends that I know who would use this lens in their use case scenario, would they change to 50-200, something much bigger and heavier? I would say no. And 40-150 is perfectly fine. It's more than sufficient for all the things that I need to do and for my friends, right? So why upgrade to the 50-200? That's the question that I'm asking here. Don says, "I don't see the need for 50-200 if you already have 40-150. At least give us more reach." Yeah. Hey, Ayman, how are you? Abang Bobin. Nice to see you here. Okay, let's see if we have any members chat. Gregory says, "Even Lego is just artificially generated images." Yes, of course. Lego is being Lego, right? Yeah. Jerry says, "I shoot portraits of my crow friends, and 300 lens is sometimes too long." And that's because your crow friends are being too friendly, right? They are not all birds are being that friendly to humans. Tony says, "I'm not going to get the lens because I'm thinking of leaving Micro Four Thirds. Still thinking through my options." Well, of course, if you are leaving, then of course the lens is not your priority. It's 3699. You can buy a full frame camera and 2 lenses with that price, right? Ed says, "Enjoying the chat. Thank you so much, Ed. Appreciate that." Fajar says, "Hi Robin, Selamat Malam. Do you capture in RAW or just JPEG for professional, or just take JPEG only for YouTube contents?" For jobs, always RAW. If it's not immediate delivery, like let's say I'm taking photographs for a client, some product shots, I have time to edit my photographs and deliver the images few days or 1 week later, then always RAW. Even like shooting for events or weddings, if I don't need immediate delivery, always RAW. But a lot of my clients, they do need immediate delivery, especially let's say that it's a live event where the company needs to share the images live on the Facebook or Instagram. Then on the spot, I need to share images with them, right? While the event is still going on, then RAW will not be a good solution. JPEG will be a good solution. So it's RAW plus JPEG in those situations. For YouTube, all the way RAW. I don't shoot JPEG. RAW, and I process my images. In my past 2 live streams, I've shared how I process my street photography images. You can refer to those live streams if you have not watched them. I share everything. I don't hold back how I edited my images, right? Janelle says, it's a high-end lens, like the other white beast, for rich people. I would think that lenses are not necessarily for rich people. If you need the lens, you need the lens. If you don't need it, you don't need it. And if you need it for some reason, you can justify the purchase, right? Especially if you are earning from photography, you can easily recover the cost. Yeah. Farja says, Santiks is beauty in Melayu and Indonesian language. Yeah. Cantik. Cantik is in Melayu. This is beautiful. Tony says, the EM10 video was extremely informative and interesting. Thank you so much, Tony. Appreciate that. Connor Stobill says, if they do an EM10, I will buy it. It's the next camera that I want, especially after using the EM1 Mark II now. Yes, I will buy one as well if they come out with an updated version of the EM10. Hans says, Robin, I have a question, observation. I've watched a slew of videos on the new 50-200 and none have referenced the obvious competitor, the Panasonic 50-200 F2.8 to F4. The Panasonic covers the exact same range. Yes, it's a bit slower on the long end, but it's also smaller, much lighter. It's excellent optically, and almost half the cost. Okay, then what is your question? I don't see your question coming, so I'm just assuming your question will be like, why hasn't anyone mentioned about the Panasonic lens? Maybe they don't have it. Like, I don't know a friend that has that lens. And that lens is not cheap, right? How much is the Panasonic lens? I remember comparing that lens with the Olympus Folio 150. It's just way too expensive. Let's see, how much is the price? Retailing for... Hey, let's check it on B&H. $1,800. Okay. Whereas Olympus Folio 150? I don't even know what's the current price now. Let's see, B&H. It's... Wow. Okay, 1499, 1799. $300. So the Panasonic is $300 more expensive than the Olympus, and it has variable aperture, which makes it less enticing than the Olympus, which has constant fixed aperture f2.8. Excellent optically, really, because if it's really that great, like, why isn't anyone using it? That's the question, right? That's one. And secondly, I'm not too keen on variable aperture, like, because it changes. It makes things a little bit difficult if you're shooting flash manually. And I do use flash for my event photography, and that's where I use long lenses for my event, flash plus event. And every time the lens changes aperture, I need to compensate it on my flash. It's just a nightmare. And someone say, oh, just slow it down to f3.5, f4 and just keep it there. And then, like, why do I want an f2.8 lens in the first place, right? It means I'm intentionally losing light. Half the cost, yeah, but I don't see it. I don't think it's in the same category as the 50-200. If you ask my honest opinion, yeah. And like, even if let's say I get the OM System 50-200 lens now for test, I have no way to find a Panasonic 50-200, and I don't even know where to buy in Malaysia. Like, I don't even know if any of the camera shops sell the lens. Really, I have to buy online, maybe from outside of Malaysia, which is not an option. That I don't have the warranty, and it could just get lost in delivery, and I can't claim for whatever money that I've already paid for that lens. It's not a cheap lens. It's almost $2,000. I'm not gonna risk $2,000 for a maybe the lens being lost in the mail, right? So no, thank you. Yeah. Car says, and to match this new OM10, they could have released a 10 f1.8. That is, but there is a 8mm f1.8 retinal lens being patented by Sigma, right? Sigma patented 8mm f1.8, right? Let me see if I have that correct. Oh no, it's 8mm f1. That's the for third room site. So here, Sigma patented 50-200mm F1 for micro four thirds. It's not a fisheye lens. So there you go. Something interesting to look forward to in case 8mm F1 pops up in the future. So yeah. Okay. Oh, it's already 8 minutes past 11. I didn't even notice the time. Let me get to a few more chats and then we'll start with the photo sharing. PK says, subject detection with face autofocus and an EM10 level will clinch the deal for OM. I agree. Absolutely. Simon says, EM10 Mark IV is my favorite body now and everyone asking me about it. What kind of analog camera it is. It's so beautiful, right? And yet it's so capable. Yeah. Louis says, an EM10 was my first camera. I kind of miss it. I now have the OM1 and being said, I would like more megapixels than the new OM10 pen. I don't think that will happen since they just launched the OM1 Mark II. Like, I don't understand why. We have a 47 megapixels micro four thirds image sensor released in 2019 by Sony. It's available and it's capable of shooting 8K video in 30 frames per second, which means it's capable of shooting 4K in 120 frames per second. And I just don't understand why Panasonic or Olympus didn't implement that 47 megapixels micro four thirds sensor in any of the new cameras. If it was launched in 2019, you expect by now we will have something with that new sensor, right? Yeah. Carl says 50-200 internal zoom, 1.1 kilograms, weight 1,000 pounds more than the Sony 100-400. Okay. 1.5 kilograms, good times for customers. All right. George says, OM system is interested in those who can afford the latest and greatest like the $3,700 lens, not in the little guy trying to get into photography. Of course, this is not an entry-level lens. It's a pro-grade lens. That's the reason why there's a pro label attached to the lens, right? Fajar says, iPhone just released iPhone 17 and Nikon released ZR. I feel the moment's war of video gear simple versus professional. I don't think the Nikon ZR is a professional grade gear. It's still a consumer grade gear. Like if you are a real professional videographer, cinematographer, you go for cinema cameras, right? Like Red, well technically Nikon owns Red. Even Sony has the FX line, right? The cinema line, or Canon cinema line usually starts with a C, right? So there are those cinema cameras. Even the Sony, Canon, Nikon, they have all the cinema cameras, and there are other cinema manufacturers like Red Camera, for example. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna put a pause here because I do want to share photographs, but let me drink some water because it's been more than 1 hour of me talking non-stop. Let me hydrate and then drink some coffee and then get to the photo sharing. All right. And coffee. So I bought something new. Ta-da! This will be in one of my future videos, maybe 1 month from now. It's a macro ring flash. This is a Godox ML150 Mark II. The reason I bought it is two reasons actually. One, I'm curious. I've never used a macro ring flash before. And two, it's so cheap. This cost me like $50 or less. And I thought like, hey, it's an actual flash. And I do some macro. I've been trying to do more macro recently. And I sort of know, roughly, I know what to expect from the results I can get from a ring flash because I've used a ring LED light before. I know the pros and cons of using this setup, but I thought it's an easy setup. It's so easy to use. It's so cheap. Why not just experiment with it and make a content? So my video about me sharing my thoughts on this ring flash will be published about a month from now. But at this point, let's just look at some sample photographs. All right, there we go. And from here, you can immediately see the disadvantage of using the ring flash. You can see the ring reflection on the end. And these hot spots, or the bright white spots of the ring shape, is very unnatural. And I think that's why a lot of macro shooters don't use macro ring flash, because it's very I would say it destroys the image, and to a certain degree, it makes the photograph looks very unnatural, very unrealistic. Yeah. This is the tiger beetle. There are a few variants of this beetle. This is blue, metallic blue. There are also the ones in metallic green. I haven't seen one recently, but I found this metallic blue one. And look at this, the reflection on the eye again is in ring shaped, and that's because of the ring flash. But yeah, tiger beetle. There you go. Just ants locking their jaws or pincers, which is pretty cool. It's as if they are kissing or trying to bite each other's mouth off. I don't know, but yeah. Oh, by the way, in case you guys are wondering, this is the EM1 original. EM1 original together with the Olympus 60 f2.8 macro lens. EM1, 60 macro lens, and Godot's ring flash. Very simple setup. Grasshopper, your standard garden variety. Grasshopper, nothing special here. All right, just a grasshopper. Just a common house fly or garden fly or whatever. But yeah, so for non-reflective surfaces like this fly, you can't really tell this was shot with the macro ring flash, and it still looks pretty good. The result is quite okay, and generally the good thing about macro ring flash is that the lighting is quite even and flat. So if that's something that you're after, then you can achieve very good results, especially on a non-reflective surface. Unlike the end just now, which is completely reflective, and you can see the ring hotspots, right? So like for this fly, it's actually fine. It's perfectly fine, right? This is Catapit. Catapit. You can again see the ring hotspot on the hot ring reflection on the eye, which is very unnatural. But just look at the details that this Olympus 60 f2.8 can capture. Look at the individual fur. Is it fur? Okay, maybe that's not fur. I shouldn't be calling it fur. I don't know what it is, but it looks like fur on the neck. It's just crazy. Look at that. Catapit. Yeah. Leaf hopper. This is tiny. And this is where one of the weaknesses of the ring flash as well, because it is technically a direct flash, and you will see traces or hints of direct flash effects, which is not flattering. We always try to prevent firing our flash directly, right? So this is direct flash, so not very, very nice. Stilt-legged fly. This is a fly, but it's ant mimic. It mimics an ant. And the reason why I knew this wasn't an ant from a distance was because it wasn't moving like an ant. Ant will keep walking around, it doesn't stay still. This was staying here pretty still. This is a stilt-legged fly. It has wings. Yeah, there you go. Look at the eye. Get that. Look at the details of the compound eyes. It's crazy. Lynx spider. Another reason why the ring flash is not good is if you look at the multiple eyes on the spider, you can see all the ring reflections on the eyes, which is weird. It makes it look like a demon or something. So there you go. But for what it's worth, I understand that, I mean, based on my comments, you can tell that I don't really like the ring flash. But for what it's worth, the ring flash is quite easy to use. It's very easy to set up. It's very easy to handle. It's very easy to use. Yeah. Oh, by the way, if you are a member, if you watch my members only live stream, I've already shared all these images in last week's live stream, so I apologize in advance. I don't have time to come up with new images. For the past 1 week, I've been busy with the new product, which I'm presenting tomorrow at the product launch. I can't talk about that, but I can talk about that in next week's live stream, and that product will be in the video in next Monday. So I don't have time for new videos, new photographs. I'm recycling these photographs from last week's members only live stream, so sorry about that. But for non-members, this is the first time you're seeing this. Mantis, always a joy to shoot mantis. Praying mantis. This is a type of beetle. Again, if you look at the shell or the body, it's reflective, and you see the ring-shaped thing on the body, which is really unsightly. And when I shot this beetle, because it's so tiny, right? It's just a few millimeters. When I shot it, I did not see these things latching on it. I think these are, at first I thought when I was reviewing the image at home, I only saw it at home when I was looking at these photographs, I was focusing on the eye. I was hoping the eye was in focus. Right? I didn't see these two insects latching on the beetle. At first when I saw it, when reviewing, I thought these were babies being on the mother's back, right? Riding on the mother's back, but no, these are not babies. If you look at them carefully, these are not beetles. There's a different angle. Again, another reason why I can't focus stack, because within a few seconds the beetle is completely upside down. So if you look at this thing, this is more than 100%, so they are not exactly very clear, but you can clearly see that these are at the shape of either flies or wasps. I don't know if there are any insect experts here, entomologists, what do you call insect experts? If there are any of you, maybe you can advise what these are. I think based on my limited knowledge, I think those are parasitic wasps, where they will inject their eggs deep inside this beetle, and the larva will hatch and eat the beetle inside out. And you think the movie Alien is screwed up. These are invasive insects. I think these are wasps. They look like wasps. They are parasitic. And I don't think this is a symbiotic relationship. I think it's parasitic. I think they lay their eggs inside the beetle, and their babies will eat this beetle until they are full grown, until the beetle dies. And the beetle keep popping the wings out like that. I think the beetle is aware that it's being attacked by these parasitic wasps. I think it's aware. It's trying to shake them off, but to no avail. Again, when I was reviewing my image on my camera screen, I was just hoping the eye is in focus, and I was just looking at this ring reflection on the body, and I failed to notice this. Supposedly, I'm assuming they are parasitic wasps. Pretty cool, right? Pretty cool. And I did not have any way to further magnify this image. This is very close to full magnification already. I did not bring my Nisi close-up filter. I did not bring the extension tubes. And yeah, would have been cool if I had at least, like, if I can zoom it all until this size, right? It would be so much clearer and so much cooler. But yeah, this was like the best I can do with what I have, the 60 F2.8 macro, which is honestly very impressive of already looking at the details that it managed to capture. Yeah. Just your garden variety cricket, nothing special. Cricket. Right. Spider wasps. If I got this right, this is spider wasps. Look at it, spider wasps. Because the legs look like spiders, right? Spider wasps. And yeah, this is a midge. Midge looks like a mosquito, but it's not. This is midge. There's a lot in the park nearby, right? Midge, which is amazing. And rice ear bug, which is very common in paddy field. And this is again a very direct result of what you can see being used on it. The lighting being used, which is very direct flash. Yeah, which is not very flattering. It's the reason why macro ring flash is not popular among insect macro photographers, especially if you're dealing with insects with very reflective bodies and surface. Yeah, it just looks very, very bad. Another leaf hopper. Leaf hopper. There we go. That's it. Those are all the images that I'm sharing for tonight. I hope you guys enjoy it. You will see them again very, very soon, in maybe 1 month or more, where I talk about this macro ring flash, where I talk about it in more detail. I just thought I'll give you guys a little bit of advanced preview because I have nothing else to share. At least nothing from my recent the pool of photographs. I've been busy for the past 1 week gathering sample photographs for a product that I'll be speaking on tomorrow. And you'll see those images. I'm not holding them back. You'll see those images next Monday. For non-members, for members, it's Sunday night, right? So Yeah, keep an eye out for that. I hope you guys enjoy the inside macro photographs. Again, I enjoy shooting macro. I love macro photography, and this is my first time experimenting with ring flash. I have used ring LED light before. It's different. Flash is definitely more powerful. I can stick everything at ISO 200, getting the best dynamic range, getting the best details. Everything is best tonality, everything, right? So yeah, that's hopefully you guys enjoy that. Before I get to the chat, let me just drink more water and some coffee. I'll get to the chat. All right. I am a little bit behind of the chat. There are, how many people watching? Exactly 100 people watching. Let's get to the members first. Members, because you guys pay, right? So I already promised to prioritize your chat. Cleaning the beetle. No, I don't think the wasps are so kind in cleaning the beetle. I think it's just a parasitic. Yeah. That's so nice of you, Gregory, thinking all the positive things. Aw, seeing the best even in insects. Emiliano says it's very difficult to wish the best to OM and not buy any new product, but it's hard to justify buying the new 50-200 over the 40-150. Even harder to upgrade unless you really need the reach. Yeah, that's true, right? And honestly, 40-150, if you are not a wildlife shooter, it's already plenty of reach for events or wedding photographers, right? Or general photography. Or fashion photographer, for example, there's plenty of reach, more than enough reach. And 50-200 is not that much more compared to 40-150. It's just 50 more, and the difference usually will be exaggerated at the wider end compared to the longer end. The longer it is, the less difference it makes. Hey Wolfie, how are you? Sorry, I forgot the stream, but at least I came in halfway. Nice to see you here, Wolfie. No worries about it, and it's always very happy. I'm always very happy to see you. Wolfie says, I adore the Olympus 40-150 F2.8 PRO for its size, weight, and image quality. It was and is my favorite and most used micro four thirds lens ever. Yeah, I know, right? Like if you have that lens already, it is so good. Because I had the lens before, and I know how good it is. Then what justifies the upgrade to 50-200? That's the one that I'm asking, right? Of course, I don't have the lens. If I have the lens, I can answer. And based on the reviews, I know that someone mentioned that Emily from Microphone Nerds has compared the lens directly to 40-150, and she preferred the 50-200. Why? What made her prefer that? Sunday says, if the 50-200 is an improved or based on the 50-200 F2.8 at 3.5, we don't know. Like I said, I don't know whether this is a 100% OM systems design, or it's a Sigma design rebadged to OM system, or it's an original Olympus design, or it's an improved or refresh from the original Zuko Digital 50-200 F2.8 3.5. We don't know. This could be any one of these four possibilities, right? It's so fun thinking of all these possibilities. Wolfie says, I was all in on all the specs and quality of the 50-200 until I saw Chris mention the price. Sorry, the price of £3,000 in the UK is insane considering other brands. Yeah. Again, like, I've mentioned this earlier, Wolfie, if you haven't heard this, I'll just say it quickly. Like, if you take a photograph with the 40-150 and compare with the 50-200, and if the image from the 50-200 immediately jumps, it's so much sharper, the bokeh is nicer, there's like 3D rendering, the contrast is better, immediately it pops, and you know that it's that much better than the 40-150, then maybe the price is justified. I don't know, because I don't have the lens yet. Yeah. Mevir says, greetings from Poland. Hey Mevir, how are you? Faber Gamoka says, 50-200 is not for me. It's neither here nor there. Not wide enough or reach is not far enough. It's too expensive for me. Of course, not all lenses are designed for everyone. Pick the lenses that's right for you. But I can see the appeal of the 50-200. And to be fair, the original Zuko digital DSLR lens, 50-200 f2.8 to 3.5, was a very popular lens back in the day. Uvi says, I will still buy it at some point in the future on the second-hand market because it can be one-stop shop for wildlife, 200 F2.8 for dawn and dusk, 400 F5.6 when I need to reach. Understand? Sunday says, perhaps the price now will be high for those who wants to have it right away. It would draw 30... No. Did any of the lens drop price? Camera body will drop price, but I don't remember the lens dropping price unless the lens has a successor. Like 100 to 400, when it has a successor, 100 400 Mark II, yes. Like 17 f1.8, once it has a successor, it will drop price. So I don't remember any of the lenses dropping price 30% after 6 months. I don't remember any, like, did 150 to 400 drop 30%? Did 300 f4 drop? And if I remember correctly, the lens prices will increase over time. Like Japan has increased prices for Sony, Canon, Nikon, Olympus products over the years. They don't drop price, right? That's my understanding. Correct me if I'm wrong. Wolfie says, what surprised me the most is that the new 50-200 Pro has the same weight as the 50-200 f2.8 3.5 while being internal zoom. Well, whether it's internal zoom or external zoom doesn't affect the weight, right? It's just the size, not the weight. But better build quality and weather resistant, sync IS, and size. Yeah, of course. The 50-200 f2.8 3.5 was designed for a DSLR. It wasn't designed to be small. It was made for a DSLR. So now the new 50-200 is made for mirrorless, which means micro four thirds. It has to be optimized to be smaller, right? So it's completely different design philosophy in the first place. Wolfie says, guess what? I unboxed a used EM1 Mark 1 I bought for 110 pounds. What? 110 pounds? Really? I will buy one, although I already have like my... Do you see how... Oh, you can't really see this because... like, you can see how banged up my EM1 is. Like, I don't mind buying another one for 110 pounds because it was advertised as broken. Oh, it's just broken. Shutter was stuck. I just applied 3 strong slaps and camera unstuck itself. Fully functional. Oh my goodness. That's a good one. That's a good one, Wolfie. Stewart says, it's an original design from OM system. How do you know? They wouldn't admit it's not. Why would they admit it's not? Like, they didn't say that the 150 to 600 is a Sigma lens. They didn't say that 100 to 400 is a Sigma lens. They'll say that it's our lens, it's our name on it, right? Why would they say it's not their lens? Louis says, I will be okay if it is a Sigma lens. I want more third-party support for micro four thirds. The third-party support for micro four thirds will come when OM system and Panasonic sell more micro four thirds camera bodies. Again, it's a chicken and egg situation. If you don't have enough camera body sales, if your market share is so bad, the third-party manufacturers will not make lenses for micro four thirds. It's as simple as that, right? Simple truth. Camille says, if this lens was an Olympus lens design, you gotta stand in awe at how long it took to release. Makes you wonder how long it's gonna be for other lenses, I know, right? But the lens was already there in the roadmap. I'm not surprised they already have the lens design. Like, they can't release it immediately at that time because at that time they have other priorities, right? But it's already in the roadmap. If it's in the roadmap, it means that they are confident they can make this lens. The technology and the know-how and the formula is already there. So I'm not surprised if this was an old Olympus lens just being brought into production now by OM Digital Solutions, right? Wolfie says, I just couldn't say no for the chance of the OG EM1 for just 110 pounds. Now I plan on sticking with the 4/3 lens adapted. But then that's not a good idea. If you put the original 4/3 lens on the original EM1, it's just going to be very slow. I'd rather you use your original 4/3 lens on your OM1. You still have the OM1, right? Then the autofocus will be so much better. Steve says, I reviewed the 50-200 lens. It's great, but for my personal gear, I'll probably get the 40-150 lens. Okay. But did you compare it though, like side by side? I'm curious to find out, like, if it's that much better, like a lot of reviewers say, right? Wolfie says 3,000 pounds is way too much for the price. I could get an OM1 Mark II, 40-150 F2.8 Pro, 100 to 400. That's why I can't justify the launch price. If it's at closer to 200 pounds used, then I'll get it. But that's like too much drop. Usually the price will drop 20-30% in the used market if it's a new lens, unless it's been like 3 years, 5 years, then you'll drop to like 2,000 pounds or even lower, right? Yeah. Okay. Kola says, hope you are doing well. Hi Kola, how are you? Nice to see you here. Let me see if there's any new members chat. We have a few. Let me just get to them first. Gregory says, nice. It's my YouTube personality. In person, I'm all gloom and You have a YouTube personality as well, eh? Chris says, in the UK, I bought the 300 F4 for 2002 back in 2017. It is 2,400 pounds now. There you go, Santix. Prices don't go down for lenses. Unless the lenses has a replacement. That's a different story, right? People will go for the new lens and the old lens is, or the lens is discontinued. That's a completely different story, right? So, yeah. Let's get to the non-members chat. Okay. Silver says, it's my second favorite lens after the 90. You mean the 50-200? Wow, is that good? Hey. Zach says, Olympus doesn't have the technology to photograph the new products. Nah. If that's true, if what I'm saying is true, then Sony, Canon, Nikon, Fuji, they also don't have the technology to photograph the new products. Everyone is using generated images. Yeah. Movie says 40-150 Pro with 1.4 times teleconverter takes a huge impact in image quality compared to the Panasonic 50-200 native at 200. If the new lens can do better with 1.4 times, no. Basically what the teleconverter does is it just magnifies the center portion of the lens. So no matter how great the lens is, once you stretch the pixels, it's just going to break, right? And yes, there will be some compromise. You lose about 10-20% of the resolution. You will see it no matter how great the lens is. And 40-150 is already an incredibly sharp lens. I tried with the 1.4 times teleconverter, with the 2 times teleconverter. It's already so good. And even if the lens is better, say the 300 f4 lens, which is incredibly sharp and sharper than 40-150, you will still see resolution drop using the teleconverter. That's just simple science, right? Yeah. Kola says, too expensive for the same price of OM1 Mark II, and this lens you can get a Nikon Z8 and 100-400 lens with 45 megapixels and still can crop to 19 megapixels. Yeah. I wouldn't say it's the same. If you get the Nikon Z8, then you wouldn't have the advantages like the amazing weather sealing capability like the Olympus. Trust me, it's not on the same level. You wouldn't get the 5-axis sync image stabilization. If you have tested the 5-axis sync IS on the Olympus lenses, it's no comparison. It still beats the Nikon by quite a far distance. And if you're talking about 100-400, then Olympus has 100-400 as well. Attached to the 100-400 Mark II, which is way cheaper than what the Nikon 100-400 is asking for, and you get even better reach and even better image quality. And at 19 megapixels with the crop, yes, you crop 19 megapixels, but Olympus is already native 20 megapixels, and with further reach 100-400, and on top of that, you can still attach a teleconverter. So no matter how you look at it, the Z8 will not be a great solution in this particular regard if you really look at it, right? If reach is what you're talking about, that's what I'm assuming here. Complete reach, just reach, right? And resolution, yeah. Movie says, looks like it's going to be an amazing lens for butterflies because 1 to 2 times magnification, 1.1 to 1.5 times at 1.4 teleconverter, 2 times teleconverter. You don't need like all this crazy magnification for butterflies, right? Butterflies are not that tiny. Like, I don't know where you live, Wolfie. Like, butterflies here are huge. You don't need that tiny, I don't that much magnification for butterflies, right? Yeah. Wobegong says, I'm not buying this lens. I'm using camera for underwater photography. Super telephoto has no place there. Besides, the price is beyond my range. I understand. Different lenses for different purposes. If you don't need that particular lens, that is not for you. That's a fair assessment. Fedaxer says, hey Robin, hey, how are you? Do you think this will be a better lens than 300 f4, considering the options using a teleconverter? But they are both different lenses. For the 300 f4, you don't have the flexibility to unzoom or go wider. You're stuck at 300. Let's say that you're on a safari, right? And the Jeep or the truck, not the truck, what do you call that? The vehicle that you're on. If the driver or the ranger brings you really close to the lion or to the animal, to the rhinoceros, the 300 will only get you the headshot. If you want the entire animal, you need a zoom lens. This is where the 50-200 gives you that flexibility of composition if you want a more environmental shot, because you don't want just the head or the eye of the animal all the time. You want the full body of the animal with the environment to tell a more compelling story, right? And that's where the 50-200 is a better lens in that situation. But if you're in some situation where everything is so far away, like if you are a very specific bird shooter and all the birds are really far away, then yeah, 300 is a better lens, right? 50-200 is barely enough reach compared to 300. So both lenses are designed for very different purposes. They don't exactly overlap. They don't fight each other. I don't see how they can clash. And you buy one lens for one purpose. You don't just buy a 300 lens and expect it to work for all purpose photography, right? If I bring a 300mm lens to shoot a wedding, all I can shoot is just the bride's face. And I don't think the bride will be happy with that kind of shot, right? So yeah, there you go. Movie says, this summer before I lost all my micro photo setup, I got the most perfect shots I wanted for years. Swallows dunking in the water because of the 50 frames per second and 50-150 f2.8 autofocus and subject detection. That's awesome. That's awesome. Mario says, this is the definitive lens for micro four thirds and it's a source of pride for Olympus to have made it. Only the profit will tell whether it's the source of pride or not. If the lens can sell well, at the end of the day, whether it's Olympus or whether it's OM system, because you say Olympus, right? Technically it's OM Digital Solutions now, it's not Olympus. Let's get that out of the way. The only way it can be the source of pride if the lens sells really well. What is the source of pride for Olympus, at least during the digital era? EM5, EM1, because those cameras sell really, really, really well. And at Z1, that camera sells like hotcakes, right? TG series cameras, those cameras sell crazy. Lenses, I'm not so sure. I know in terms of engineering, they were very proud of 300 f4 because I was there when they made the lens. Other than that, there's no source of pride that can justify if the lens doesn't sell well, if the product doesn't sell well. What makes it the source of pride is all about sales numbers, really, at the end of the day. Movie says, I have hundreds of keepers and I could not get it without the performance of the OM1 and 50-150 f2.8 Pro. Considering the age of the lens, it's still quite an amazing lens, right? Tomato says, I always love seeing your macro shots. I think the ring flash is nice if you just want to get into macro with hood style diffuser. You have to be careful not to bump the plant. Not really. I did not bump into anything. I think the larger attachment at the top is worse because it bumps into, because it's so much larger, right? It bumps into everything around the camera and lens, whereas the ring in front of the lens is just nice. It's just in front of the lens, right? So yeah, compared to say all kinds of other bigger size diffuser, it's just way more difficult to use. The ring flash is easier to use. Tomato says, I think you're right about parasitic wasps. Either that or they're collecting something from the source. Something. I wonder what that is, right? Yeah. Mara says, also because it shows that the brand is active. I'm tired of seeing videos of people who keep saying that Micro Four Thirds is dead. I don't think people want to say Micro Four Thirds is dead. I think it's right for people to be concerned. And it is a justified concern, because if you look at the market share, there's a reason why they are sitting at what, 3-point-something% of the entire market. 3-point-something%. If that is not worrying to you, if you still think that everything is rainbows and cheers and unicorns and everything is so perfect, then yeah, you need a reality check, Mario. I'm happy for your optimism. If you want to remain optimistic, if you want to be all positive and hooray for the brand, good for you. You can cheer all you want, but I'm a more realistic person. I look at numbers. I'm an engineer. I don't want to lie to you and say everything is okay when it's not. Looking at the numbers, they are not okay. Micro Four Thirds is not okay. They are not dead yet, but that's worse than death, right? You're still alive, but you're suffering. Like you're alive, but you can't walk, you can't see, and you can't think, you can't speak. I'd rather be dead, man. They are struggling. You can't see that, really? You can't see that? They are really struggling. Anyway, and like the financial reports is not a secret anymore. They are making a 1.2 billion loss OM system last year. Have you seen any of these facts, or are you choosing to just ignore all of it? Like, wow. I wish I have that ability to just selectively ignore certain facts and just choose what I want to believe in. I can't. Zach says, I decided I'm going to get this lens as soon as my photography pays for it. I've made exactly 0 since taking my first class in 1992, so any day now. Oh, Zach, don't say that. Don't say that. I think making money in photography is one thing, and being able to take good photographs is one thing. A lot of people assume that just because you are good at what you do, you can make a living out of it. That is completely wrong. I've seen a lot of like top-notch photographers, skillful, super talented photographers fail in the photography business because they don't treat it like a business. Like I'm not the best photographer around here in Kuala Lumpur, but I still make a living out of it because I treat my photography as a business. It is a business. You need to be able to market yourself. You need to be able to find clients. You need to spend time networking. And when you shoot an event, it's not just about getting the shots that are beautiful or good, but it's the shots that the client want. I mean, this is an entire topic altogether on a different live stream. If you want to talk about it, we'll go deeper on it. But yeah, like making money is purely business, right? It's, in a way, it has nothing to do with photography at all. Simon says, the price is like this because there is no competition. Wow. You're very confident, yeah? There's no competition. I think it is either people look at it and say, wow, I want to buy this. Or people will say, wow, the price is like this, I'm not going to buy it. Whether it is competition or not is irrelevant. You get what I mean? It's like, we don't want to scare off potential buyers right from the start. That's the goal. Because if people think that it's expensive, people are not going to buy the lens. At the end of the day, nobody buys the lens. Who is going to suffer? Ask yourself this. If you say, sorry, Robin, it's because of me you are being behind the chat. I've been typing at my pro Dota action for... Dude, I play my Dota as well. Don't worry, I understand. I play Dota as well. Namhua says, I have a feeling the video is on GR4. Good feeling, good feeling. Esmina says, they should also try 50-200 F4, 100-300 F4. That will be perfect for animals and planes. Yeah, why stop there? Make an 800mm lens. Make a 1000mm lens, right? Why stop at 300? That's like so normal. Everyone is doing that. Canon, Nikon, Sony, Fuji is doing that. No competition? Whoever said it earlier? Really? Samson says, it seems pointless to buy the new 50-200 if I already own 150-400 wide lens. But then again, you can't unzoom 150-50, right? 150 is like, it's really long, depending on what kind of shots that you are shooting, right? If says, Robin, now that OMG Solutions has filled in the lens roadmap, since it's been out in 2020, do you think they will come out with a new lens roadmap, or will they keep us in the dark again? I have no idea. They better give us a roadmap. I think to inspire confidence, right? To make sure that people don't jump away or run away from the camp. Yeah. Zach says, Robin should release a book of macro shots and call it Macrolasia. Nah. I do have friends doing books. I have a friend who is currently doing like spiders of Selangor or like certain insects of certain region. There are people doing these projects and it will not be me because it's just so much effort going into it. All I did was just random shots whenever I'm free, and that's not enough commitment if I were to publish an actual book that's meaningful for the insect or the spider world, right? Yeah, I need to put in a lot more effort and I don't have the time. Serge says, hi, I mean, do you think it's worth to buy the teleconverter and use it with the 100 to 400? Try it. I'm sure if you find that 100 to 400 is not enough reach, you need more reach, the MC teleconverter 1.4 times is the easiest solution, right? It gives you 1.4 times more reach. So it converts it to what? 600 millimeters or something? Yeah, almost there. 560 millimeters, which is significantly a lot more reach, right? Class says, I've read that OM System is only manufacturing 10 50 to 200 lenses per month, so be ready to wait a long time. Maybe that's why they put the price so high. Nah, that's just hearsay. That's just hearsay. James says, hope they will continue selling the old 40 to 150. Of course they will. Why wouldn't they continue selling the 40 to 150, right? Carl says, hi Robin, Olympus never did a 14. Should OM System develop a 14? And if so, at what aperture? They have a 12. Why would they want a 14? And Panasonic has a 14. So why should Olympus or OM System do a 14 to fight with Panasonic? It makes no sense. And the Panasonic 14 is really tiny. It's 14 f2.5. It's currently still the smallest autofocusing lens for micro four thirds. Still the smallest. Think about that. Camille says, I've got an EM1 Mark III and an EM10 Mark II, and for some reasons I have more fun with the EM10 Mark II. Maybe it's the shutter sound, the clicky shutter release. Not a fan of the EM1 Mark III's soft shutter button. EM10 Mark II is an amazing camera. It's such a nice camera, and I really wish they will give us an update of the EM10 series camera. I will buy one in a heartbeat. Aaron says, been scouring around eBay options for some micro four thirds lenses. Some Panasonic like us were being cop at below market price. All right, that's great. If you can find those, why not? If he says, oh nice, I can't wait to see your video. I have a similar flash. I bought a Godox ML150 ring flash, the Mark 1, right? 40 pounds, that's it. It's so cheap, right? It's like, you buy it, and even if you don't like it, who cares? It's so cheap. You can use it for certain purposes, right? Use it more than top camera flash because it's so much easier to get close. Yes, as it's so easy to use. That's the point of the ring flash. Esmina says, ring flash can create nice circles in human eyes. No. Those circles make the human eyes look really unnatural and really ugly. It looks like an alien. Wolfie says, I don't like the rendering sometimes, but it's more comfortable to get through thick foliages without scaring off the insects. I'm hoping to use off-camera flash with wireless transmitter next week. Yeah, give it an experiment. There are so many different techniques out there already. Seriously, there's no one best technique that beats the rest. I think different techniques will have their own use case scenarios, and just try around and find what works for you the best, right? Namhua says, I took out my 40-150 f4 for some insect nature photography and really appreciate its portability compared to the f2.8. If only it can take a teleconverter. For insect nature photography. For insect, I'll still use an actual macro lens, like 60 f2.8. Nimrod says, what is the model name of the ring flash? Godox ML150 Mark II. Wolfie says, there is one huge advantage for the ring flash to top camera flash diffuser. Ring flash is perfect for landscape and portrait orientation. You can't do that with the top light because in portrait. True, that's true. And if the insect is under the leaf, you can still reach it. Whereas if it's a top flash, I mean, you can't basically rotate everything 180 degrees, right? It's like, what? How are you going to hold the shutter button and the grip? It just doesn't work. So a lot of the insects are hiding below, like the one I showed earlier. Let me just find this one again. Like this one, for example. Now, of course, the top flash will not be able to get this kind of shot already, but the ring flash can still reach this easily. Yeah, that's a very, very good point. Wolfie, I agree with you. Okay. Let's move on to, let's see if there's any members chat. Nope. So let's continue with the next chat. It says, you change the light source from top to side lighting, it can destroy the image natural look. That's true. Nick says, love the color edits on this macro. I didn't edit the colors really. It's just almost straight out of camera. Like, if you guys have seen how I've shown how I've edited my photographs before, I don't edit the colors much at all. It says, Robin, even insects can have parasites with smaller creatures on them, from predatory parasites to fungus and moles living off the insects. Like the what was that? What fungus was that? Cordyceps, right? The cordyceps took over ants and they took control of their brain function. And yeah, that's where The Last of Us got the inspiration from, right? Which says, finally Robin has found one of the many reasons why having more than 1:1, 2:1 magnification can be interesting and useful. Only for that one reason, right? But most of the things are not that tiny, and I seldom look for things that are that tiny. Roger says, trying to get some spider macro shots with the 60, I shake too much. You're such a small critter. Maybe I should drink coffee before. Maybe find a bigger spider? I don't know. Most of the spiders that I shot are not that tiny. They are not that large, but they're also smaller spiders. Like, if it's just too small, it's not really worth the effort, right? So maybe find something larger, yeah. He says, I always love your macro images, Robin. Your skills at macro is better than you give yourself credit for. Nah, it's still not my forte. I think what makes macro shots work, it's not just the technical execution, it's the subject itself. And I want to look for interesting things like spider eating another bug, or two bugs having sex, or I don't know, cicada molting, or something happening like this in action, right? Two dragonflies having sex or something. And it's not easy to find those, and the only way to make this happen is to be out there enough. And I don't have enough time to be out there hours and hours and hours in the forest or in the hiking trail, in the garden. I need to work. I need to shoot for a living. Insect macro doesn't pay the bills. That's just the simple truth, right? Yeah. Jerry says, nice photos. Sometimes ring flash looks good on jumping spiders. Big no. I think that looks really, really, really bad. It just makes all the rings just, ugh. It just makes it look so unnatural. Wolfie says, sorry, I keep sending you messages. I'm excited, happy to be in the macro photo system again. It's been 7 years since I've used the original EM1. No worries, just send the messages away and I will read all the messages. So don't worry about that, right? Okay. Number 6 says, I have a friend who is only interested in bugs. He has the EM1 Mark II and only 2 lenses. I think he might like the ring flash. Maybe he won't. Maybe he won't. But then again, it's such a cheap purchase that it should be fairly guilt-free, even if you don't like it. You know, it's only $50. Dave says, hi Robin, maybe those WAPs just got a ride. I don't think they're riding on a beetle for no reason, right? I think there must be some reason that they are there. And parasitic WAPs is a real thing. They lay eggs on hosts, yeah, the larva will burst out of the host insect like the alien chest busters. If you guys watch Alien, I'm currently following Alien Earth on Hulu. Oh my god, it's really, really awesome. Watch it if you haven't. If you are an Alien fan, you should watch it. Namhua says, I can never find spiders when I go macro hunting. Any tips on how to hunt for them? I can find them everywhere. Where are you located at? Are you in Malaysia? They are everywhere. Ovi says, the reason I prefer the 50-200 compared to 40-150 is the native magnification. All right. So the brighter 800 reach without the second lens. I'm not denying that the 50-200 is a better lens. It's just that how much better is it? You know, like, is it justified? Movie says, potentially better autofocus performance, but the 40-150 autofocus is already so good, right? Yes, the Sync IS is definitely a bonus. It's definitely a bonus, especially at the long end, right? If you need it. Movie says, the stuck shutter is a known issue in the community, so I knew I could fix it. That's why I took the risk. And I always keep it in the electronic shutter to prolong its life usage. But the electronic shutter in the original EM1 is not that great. The camera was launched without electronic shutter, and there's a reason why electronic shutter was not enabled by default. It was only added in later, and the what do you call that? The consequences of using the electronic shutter is quite bad. More noise, banding, jello effect. all kinds of weird problems, color shifts and everything, I wouldn't use the electronic shutter unless I absolutely have to. Yeah. Daniel says, this lens levels the playing field, beating out specs on full frame. Okay. I don't think we should compare it directly to full frame, because if you want to compare to full frame also brings other benefits. And this kind of argument will not go anywhere. It's just going to go into a loop, a never-ending cycle of hell. And at the end of the day, it's just bloodshed. Everyone loses. If you want to buy Macro Four Thirds, buy it for the right reasons. If you want to buy full frame, buy it for the right reasons. And once you're on it, be happy with what you have. Don't go over and justify a purchase by putting the other cam down. That's not going to earn you any brownie points. Like, trust me, this kind of sentence, this levels the playing field, beating out specs on full frame. This kind of sentence is just going to get you in trouble. And it's just you're going to make more enemies by saying things like that. Like, trust me, it's not worth saying these things. If it says, no, I don't have the OM1, I have to sell, I understand. So sorry about that. But yeah, the 4/3 lenses will not work very well on the original EM1. Trust me on this. Solve the OM1, 12-40 Pro, 4150 Pro, 100. Okay, understand. Zach says, Robin, have you seen any Stuart Woods content? He does good work. No, I have not. Okay, let me check out his YouTube channel, I suppose. Stuart Woods. Street photographer? Stuart Woods. Stuart Woods. I don't see anything on YouTube. Did I search wrongly? Ah, there it is. Okay. Macro photographer. Okay. Invites into macro photography. I see. So it's a macro photographer. So I reviewed the 50-200 lens. Good job, Stuart. Spider photography. Yeah, that's the reason why I haven't stumbled upon the channel. Well, I'm primarily a street photographer. Yeah. Waterfall says, hi everyone. Hey Waterfall, how are you? Ronster says, hi Robin and everyone. Afraid I won't be buying one of these anytime soon. I'm not in that kind of bracket. Of course, should I win a lottery, I reserve the right to change my mind, of course. Once you have the extra cash, you can spend on whatever you want, right? I wish I have a lottery as well. Yeah. Dave says, butterflies are huge, but what about their parasites? Are we looking for parasites now in every other insect? Yeah. We say butterflies, dragonflies, damselflies are extremely skittish. They will flow away as soon as you notice them. It's really difficult to get close. That's why I love my 100-400 for them. Well, I managed to get close to dragonflies fairly easily. I have a video that I have not shared. The video will come out soon. Another macro video that I made with a lot of dragonflies. Yeah. Let me see if I can find... Did I share these photographs already? I may have shared these photographs already, but let me find them first. Do I still have them? Macro. I think it's here. There it is. This is the difference. This is not from the ring flash. Let me just switch over the Windows screen. This is not from the ring flash, but there you go. Ta-da! Have I shared these images already? This is from a new park that I have not been to. So, yeah. More dragonflies. There are a lot of dragonflies at this park. Let me see. I may have shared these photographs already, right? Anyway, so just a quick share. Okay, where were we? Where is the chat? Okay, All Day says, I would love to see this lens compared to Photos version of 50-200. I would love to see that too, but not many people have that lens still, right? But I think we know already, one thing that the old 50-200 will lose out is autofocus. It will definitely lose out. And you can't use the new features like Pro Capture Mode and a lot of other good features like focus stacking, right? Yeah. I also wish we could see more sports events in the videos we've seen, indoor sports as well. True. I guess the people that OM Digital Solutions selectively sent the lens to are wildlife photographers. Not surprising, right? Roger says, Robin, I'm not a pro, so I'm happy to stay with the 75-300, 100-400, 14-150. Those are amazing lenses. You already have really good lenses to begin with. And honestly, you can get some really good images with those lenses. So yeah. Dennis says, I have a 3D modeled and 3D printed a custom linear polarizing housing for the Godox macro ring flash. Okay, paired with circular polarizer, it cancels most of the reflection. I understand. Yeah, but then again, it's still a direct flash. If you are serious about flash photography, any flash photographers will tell you, you never fire the flash directly in front. That's the number one thing that you're trying to avoid. Bring the flash up or to the side, away from direct front. It's not so much of the reflection that I'm against. That's one of them, but it's the direct flash look that is pretty much a no-no in the world of flash photography. Yeah. Uvi says, I have been personally waiting for Olympus and now on Digital Solutions to make release 150 to F2. Hopefully they'll still make those lenses. Hopefully they'll make them. Okay, let's get to the members chat. Tomato says, my camera has no live view. Wow, using the optical viewfinder with top mount hood flash is back-breaking work. Maybe I should get a ring flash for reflection, doesn't matter so much. Wow, you're still not using a mirrorless? You're still using a DSLR? Tomato? Juliet says, hi Robin, I hope you're doing well. I'm so interested in this new lens, but wow, the price tag. Hey Juliet, always very happy to see you here. And yes, wow, the price tag. I'm with you on this one. Yeah. Okay. Louis says, how does OM get out of this money problem? They need better marketing. If they do, that will have the money for development of new stuff. I have no idea how they're still surviving after 4 or 5 consecutive years of negative profit, running at a loss. I don't know how they survive. Uvi says, I would very much love a podcast on the subject of business photography and how to make money out of photography. I've been wanting and hoping for that for 5 years. There are many people sharing this, right? Like, it's not exactly a new topic. A lot of photographers talk about the business side of things. I am not the best person to talk about the business side of photography, because if I am making tons of cash, I would have pre-ordered the 50-200 Pro lens now, and I will own several Hasselblad and Leica cameras already, right? Obviously, I'm not the most successful working photographer out there. So again, because you missed the beginning of this live stream, I don't want to pretend to be an expert. I don't want to give false advice. And my business is doing okay. I'm doing fine. I have enough to eat. I can pay my bills, no problem. I can set enough savings every month. As a small business owner, I'm doing perfectly fine in Malaysia. But I'm in no position to give advice to other photographers starting out. I'm definitely not the most qualified person to talk about the business side of things. But I can recognize the difference between a skillful photographer and a good business person. And if you put two persons side by side and compare, the person with the better business skill will thrive in the professional working environment, business environment. It's just as simple as that. It's the fact, right? Yeah. Zach says, I agree with Fufi about the business podcast. Camille says, did anyone see Selena Gomez's Instagram post 3 selfie pics with her holding EM10 Mark IV? OM system marketing fumbled hard to get Taylor Swift to advertise for them. Maybe Selena. I don't know. Aren't Selena and Taylor Swift friends? Honestly, I have no idea about this world of pop culture. Like, seriously don't know. Zach says, Robin will start live streaming insects having sex and call it Only Bugs. Not a bad idea, Zach. Not a bad idea. There might be a market for that. Whatever pays the bills, right, Zach? Who says, another advantage I like about the ring flash is that it takes up so less space compared to the flash and the flash diffuser. It only takes about the size of a medium-sized lens. Yes, that's what I talk about. When someone earlier mentioned that the ring flash might be bumping into like leaves or branches or whatever, but I thought that the larger diffuser on top of the flash is harder to handle. That will be more difficult when you want to go through, navigate through like limited space, right? Yeah. Yes, Alien Earth. I know, right? Yeah, episode 7. Have you watched it? Oh my goodness. I'm watching it with Simon. It's the best Alien lore since the second Alien movie. I absolutely adore how good it is. I can't wait to see the second season. And like the previous episode, I think was it episode 6? The one where they had the backstory on what happened on the ship before it crash landed. Oh my goodness, it was like you're watching an Alien movie. It's like a self-contained movie in that one episode. It's so good. I'm gonna rewatch the episode. Sorry, I'm nerding out here. Jerry says, for wildlife, using the 150 to 400 with teleconverter allows 50 to 200 to fit at that wider range. Originally, I saw the 50 to 200 as an overlap. No, it's not an overlap. It sits right there. I think the only overlap here is 40 to 150. Like, if you have a 40 to 150, how do you justify getting the 50 to 200? You get what I mean? That's the only overlap that I'm seeing. With the other lenses, like 100 to 400, 150 to 400, no, there's no overlap at all. Hoovy says, I check on Bai Japan, I can get the MMF3. 1450 Mark 1, 70 to 300, 35 macro. That's the price of most Micro Four Thirds kit lenses, less than 1 Pro lens. Yeah, but then again, autofocus on the original EM1 is not great. Trust me on this, it's not great. Z6 and F1.2, F1.8 F2 primes. That is a good call. That is a good call. Ode says, I was looking forward to this lens, but the price is kind of high for Micro Four Thirds. I agree with that. I have a Canon R8 as well. Will prevent me from getting an older EF 100 to 400. The autofocus, not autofocus, sorry. Image stabilization. That's the only reason. The image stabilization on the OM1 and whatever sync IS that they have will beat the hell out of the Canon R8. As simple as that. Movie says, the autumn is here. I'm already extremely excited for favorite subjects, mushrooms, fungi, and mycelia, especially the tiniest ones because they look straight from alien world. I know, right? This little universe is so cool. Like, seriously cool. Sunny says, someone posted the 3 long lenses comparison in OM System Malaysia Club Facebook page. Really? Seems like 50-100 is larger than a 40 to 150. Oh, you mean the size comparison, not the image quality comparison. Che, Santix. Yeah lah, the 50-100 is definitely longer than 40 to 150. It's definitely larger. Of course, we all know that already. You don't need to see an actual comparison. If the 75-300 is a remake of the film version, photos, no, it's a different version. Definitely a different version. Wolfie says, Robin, I have a question for you. How are you finding the tilt up-down screen compared to fully articulated screen for macro use? Being off lens axis, does it confuse your orientation or stay on subject? I seldom find myself taking the lens out for whatever reasons. I don't know. I seldom find myself, but definitely I prefer the tilt screen. If you ask me if I have a preference, I prefer the tilt screen. Alde says they have to expand their options in terms of marketing and R&D. Focusing on wildlife isn't going to cut it. I agree with you 100%. And if their strategy works, it would have worked by now. It has been 7-8 years since EM1X. That's when they started to push everything wildlife. If it hasn't worked by now, it means that it's a failure. Look at where they are now. In terms of market share, in terms of profit, it is a failure. They have to admit this. The fact that they don't want to admit this, that will be the downfall. GG Wallaf says, do you think, Robin, that if OM System brought out the OM Pan-F, OM10, maybe an OM EPL1? EPL11 will help the company? Yes. I think basically Pan-F maybe not, but a lower level, because Pan-F will not be cheap, right? It will be another $2,000+ camera. And when people look at that price point, they'll go for Nikon ZF or Fuji X100 or Canon or Sony. There's so many other options at that price point. But if they can bring out the Pan line, which is cheaper, EPL11 or the OM10 series, which is below $1,000 US, that's a completely different story. Yeah. Uvi says, I love the tilt up and down screen with the Nikon Z6 where I shoot macro and landscape orientation, but as soon as I want to shoot vertical, I get frustrated being able to tilt the screen. I understand, but I rarely do shoot vertical orientation. I shoot mostly all in just, landscape orientation. All this says, maybe if OM focus on video more, I feel like besides smaller size and longer reach, there would be macro photorealistic sound advantage for video. Yes, definitely. That's why in my video on Monday, if you haven't watched it, I said that, hey, why don't you target the vlogging crowd? All you have to do is just pull in face detachment autofocus, swivel screen, and microphone jack. Microphone jack, which is solely lacking in any of these EM10 cameras. Like, why? Uvi says, yes, I have watched the episode last night and it was absolutely perfect. The eyeball alien has me intrigued. What it's doing, what is it planning? Maybe he wants to take over the boy Cavalier. Who knows? Shouldn't audio solutions have enough cameras and lenses to cover all wildlife and travel capabilities? Couldn't they just pivot now to street photography and portraits and events? You would think that they'll be wise enough to make these decisions, right? You would think. Like advertise, introduce new weather-resistant primes, or for those types of subjects like better eye autofocus, still features from Sony, Canon, Nikon, a new flash system, simplify and improve. Maybe not flash. Godox has basically controlled the entire flash ecosystem for all the camera brands. And people don't use flash much anymore. Like, it's not like back in the day when flash is a huge thing. It's like less and less people use flash. So that wouldn't be a good decision to get into. It says, make new cameras that are smaller, lighter, better feature, improve build quality. Like, look at what cameras that actually sell. Fuji X100, Ricoh GR series, right? Leica Q. I think this is enough to give an idea of what cameras they can make to secure more market share. All this is also just want to say that you make great content. I always look forward to your new videos. Thank you so much, Ode. Really appreciate that. With that, I think we should call it a night. It is already 14 minutes past midnight. It's very late here. I have an early tomorrow. There's a camera launch event I have to attend tomorrow. So I have to be 100% tomorrow. So yes, and I'll talk about the event tomorrow next week. Don't worry, I'm not leaving you guys in the dark. Right? I can't say anything right now. Thank you so much for joining the live stream. Thank you so much for staying with me until the end. I hope you've enjoyed the conversation. We can't talk much about the 50-200 because I don't have the lens, and I was promised that I will get a loaner in it. Once I have the lens, I'll do something with the lens. That's the best I can do for now. And yeah, I hope you have enjoyed looking at my macro images using the ring flash, the cheap ring flash that I bought. Hopefully, yeah, you guys had a great time tonight. Until the next session, next week's live stream, please go out and take more photographs. Take care. Bye-bye.